Bonjour and welcome to a new unboxing video, and today I'm particularly excited because we're going to talk about a new company. Well, it's a new company without being a new company. You know of the people who do Plate Stallion, you know, the magazine, and you know of White Elephant Toys, who do those beautiful Mego style figures that look like bootlegs, but they're not bootlegs and they're absolutely fantastic. Well, those two talents have actually teamed up to create a new company called Lincoln Monsters. And basically what they are doing is they're relaunching the Lincoln Monsters, which were like bootlegs of Mego monsters. I would say, yeah, that would be a good way of saying it, even though the monsters that Mego were doing at the time could be considered bootleg because they were not licensed Universal figures. But basically they were similar to Mego, but they were more fun, a bit weirder, and basically those people have decided to actually restart the company, and they actually are starting with a box set of two figures, which are, so this is what it is. Basically they've got this beautiful box set of two figures. As you can see, I'm going to remove the plastic because it's already falling apart. I mean, that happens. So you do have this two-pack set. As you can see, we're showing this beautiful I mean, it looks like some of those 1980s video covers. So it is in Spectra X, and you do have the Lincoln International Monster logo. It says Dungeon Video, and so on one side you've got Dracula, on the other side of the box you've got Frankenstein, well, the creature of Frankenstein. So we're going to open that because that's already a very, very cool little box set. I think it's very colorful, it's really nice. It does say the power of Frankenstein, and as you can say, it's shaped like a VHS. You do have the VHS logo and the price of the VHS. No, not the price, the reference number for the video club. I mean, people know what it is, they don't know what video clubs are anymore. And it does say on the other side that you do Conrad Video. So basically those are supposed to be like VHS, as I said, 1980s VHS horror movie. So we're going to get rid of that little sleeve so that we can check what's inside. However, before we open those, because of course we do have the creator of Frankenstein, we do have Count Dracula here, but what you need to see is basically what comes with the set of figures. When you were pre-ordering it, they had a little extra club thing, which I think is really fun. So first of all, you actually had a certificate of membership for Lincoln Monsters. Basically you are a full-fledged member, Lincoln Monsters Club, blah blah blah. It's really, that's fun. I mean, it's a nice little thing. You do have a lobby card because of course every movies in the 70s and 80s they had lobby cards in the cinema, because yes, they were still released in the cinema, even though lots of them were ending their career in video. And there is also this lovely mask. Well, if we could call it a mask, because it's a Frankenstein mask, but I think it's really cool. I love it. This is also the very, very classic look of the Lincoln Monsters. I mean, that's basically reusing an old graphics from Lincoln Monsters. And you do have this absolutely lovely little badge here, which I hope you can see easily. The light isn't that great today. So here you go. So that's the little bits that you were getting with the figures if you were pre-ordering directly with Lincoln Monsters. So now we're going to see those figures, I had to look, and they look fantastic. So let's start with Frankenstein. So Creature and Frankenstein, well, you do have this, I absolutely adore this colorful packaging. So that is the original look, I would say, of the Lincoln Monsters when they were released. So that's very much a very classic illustration, and that's a more modern take on them. So what do we have? Of course, the box is, so you have this illustration, classic on one side, modern on the other side. You do have, of course, the Power of Frankenstein on the side, because it's the Frankenstein, and you do have a little image of Frankenstein and Dracula. It's the same thing on the other side. You do have the Power of Frankenstein on top, and the Power of Frankenstein at the bottom. It does say, it does say that they are in Spectra X. I mean, you will find out what Spectra X is, at least what I think Spectra X is, once we open those. One thing to say before we open those, so they are 8 inches figures, so they're fully compatible with your Mego figures, or with the NECA 8-inch figures that they sometimes do. So that's really cool. And they are all is what I would call a collector-friendly packaging, because you can open and put back the figure inside without any problem. There's no scotch tape, there's nothing at all that prevents you from having your figure in your box and out and back in without any issue, without damaging the packaging. So that's really cool, and we're going to actually show you that in a second, because as you can see, I can just open the top. Inside you do have, I'm just getting careful because there's something here. You do have a tray, and you do have the figure, which we're going to take out of the tray. And I have to admit that it looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, there's something extremely cool about the look of that figure. I mean, of course, it's very cartoony and very retro looking, but this is fantastic. The costumes are just amazing. I mean, look at how colorful it is. I mean, you don't do toys like that nowadays. That is so fantastic. I absolutely adore those. As you can see, it does have what I figure is the Spectra X hands, which means that they are glow in the dark. But if you don't want that, there is a little bag with quite a few pairs of hands. I think there's 3 pairs. Yes, 3 pairs of hands. Some of them, I'm going to open them after we've seen the figure, but you can actually swap the hands. So what kind of articulation? Basically, it's the kind of articulation you will get on Amigo figure. So you do have the wrist, and you've got the elbow, you do have the arm that twist and can be pulled back. So you do have the waist, of course, you do have hip and knee and foot. Literally, those are the bodies for those are, I wouldn't say identical, but very similar to the Mego bodies. So that's exactly the kind of articulation you can actually expect. I do find those actually articulate very well, and when you are actually trying to give them their posture, of course I put it back the wrong way around. When you are giving them their posture, sorry, just trying to, I think this arm needs to be refitted, because I probably put it the wrong way, but it's okay. It's just a question of putting it back the way it should be. So anyway, as you can see, I mean, they are very, very much articulated. I love the design of the costume. I mean, this is actually a lovely fabric. It's almost velvety, and you do have the pullover underneath, and it is a full length pullover because it does have the sleeves, and you do have here, of course, the little trousers with the little fringe, because I mean it's not a new pair of trousers that he has. So here is Frankenstein, and he looks really, really great. I'm going to position him so that he can frighten us here. And as I was mentioning, there is some hands. So you do have 3 pairs of hands, which are in a little plastic bag. There you go. So basically you do have 6 pairs of hands. You've got the open hands, you do have the fists, and you do have the hand that you can use to hold something, like if you wanted to hold a gun, for example. So you do have those 6 hands, so 3 pairs of hands on top of the glow in the dark monster hands, as they're called, because they can't really grab anything except they're trying to frighten you. But those are really, really cool. I absolutely adore this. If you don't know the guys who do that, I mean the guy who does White Elephant Toys, who actually is designing those, and is everything he does is very high quality. I mean, his figures are really good, and when you are actually holding this in your hand, you literally feel the quality. I mean, look at this. You do have, for example, they didn't need to have buttons on that jacket, but you still have the buttons. It feels quality. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that. And those are so cool because they are so toyetic at the same time. So, but let's see Dracula, because Dracula actually kept him second for a good reason, because I think it's more outrageous than the Frankenstein. I mean, Frankenstein is great, but this is something else. Because same thing. Well, I'm going to show you very quickly. So you've got the classic image. Same thing. You do have the evil of Count Dracula on each side, and they've reversed the images of Dracula and Frankenstein. You've got the modern image here. Basically, it's very same style, except so Dracula is as a red box and Frankenstein as a green box. So that is basically the same thing. As I was saying, it's a collector-friendly packaging, and we're going to get him out because I think he looks absolutely amazing. So I'm not going to show you, but he also has 6 pairs of hands, which are different color, because of course he's a different color. And here is Dracula. I mean, isn't he just fabulous? He is absolutely fantastic. So once again, you do have the thing that I absolutely adore is that you've got this kind of high collar, which could also be like a sort of, well, here you go, that's the best way of showing it, I think, because it's this very wide. Do you remember A Tomb of Dracula by that Marvel was doing in the 70s, and Gene Colan, the guy who was actually illustrating Tomb of Dracula, had given this huge collar to Count Dracula, and that's exactly the same kind of thing. He looks absolutely fantastic, and of course he does have the same articulation as our friend Frankenstein. He does have the Spectra X hands, at least that's what I think Spectra X is, and it's really, really, really fantastic. I love it. I love the fact that, for example, we're going to look at the details together, but look at how much detail is in the costume. I mean, you do have the little cravat, and then once again you do have the buttons and the shirt, and you do have the stripe on the side of the tuxedo. I mean, it's very, 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 very well thought of, and of course he does have his evening dress jacket, evening jacket. He looks absolutely incredible. I haven't checked yet, but knowing them, I suppose that yes, you do have a clasp on the. I'm not going to remove it, but you do have a clasp on the cape, so that you can remove the cape if you want. And I do love as well the fact that Dracula has little bat style cape, because I mean this is a bat cut. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So I absolutely love him. It's fantastic. I mean, look at that, the paint job, everything. I mean, it's at the same time outrageous and so much the style of what the Lincoln Monsters were in the 70s. They've done really a fantastic job. So here you go. We do have the those two figures that are out. I think you can still buy the twin packs, because you can buy them separately, of course, but you can still buy the twin pack, which is called the Blood-A-Rama Shock Festival pack. No, I'm not making this up. Where can you find those? Well, basically you can find them directly through lincolnmonsters.com. If not, you can always check PlateStallions.com, because PlateStallions.com are selling them. I'm sure there's a company called Absolutely Retro in the US that are also selling them, and I'm pretty sure that White Elephant Toys is selling them as well. Whatever the case, that's basically the four main places where you can actually get them. I'm not sure if they still do the pack with the club thing. I think it was just for the pre-orders, but you should be able to get those from them. They're not very expensive, because basically the pack of two in the US is $55, I think, which is really not a bad price when you think of it. I mean, those are very, very small run toys, but they look absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love them. So here we go. We do have the creature of Frankenstein, and we do have Dracula, and they are the Lincoln Monsters. And I will speak to you again soon. I'm going to play with my toys. Bye.